Alright guys, we just got here to our repatriation flight. I'm going to see if I can kind of document it as I go. Alright, we just came through second set of security. They had security when we first walked through the door. Just behind me is the second security area with also passport control. But as you can see, everyone's got masks and we're all queued up to make it to our flight back here to JFK. In the main portion, the initial entry into the airport, people were just piled on top of each other, no spacing. And so yeah, we had to initially go through an x-ray when we entered there, and then once we received our boarding passes, we were able to come upstairs. So at the second security check, they actually had somebody ensuring that people were spaced out and following the distance protocols. And then we went through passport control. So here we are now in the terminal. And
we had our temperature taken twice. Once in the car before we even got into the airport, and then another at the first security check upon entering.
It's pretty spaced out. They've got the seats. I don't know if you can see. They've got the seats masked off so that you can't sit directly next to anybody. So far, we're about 30 minutes late for boarding. You can see behind me, they're starting to line up to board. Yeah, so far I'm seeing that we're going to be pretty packed in that plane. I was hoping for a little bit of space, not necessarily for anything more than comfort, but also, of course, to distance myself from my neighbor, just in case, you know, due to recommendations. But yeah, still hanging in there. All these people are starting to board. It looks like, I think there's a bus that they're going to shuttle us over to the plane. So we'll probably not be just walking out on the little bridge usually that takes you to the plane, but going down out onto the tarmac actually, and then getting on a little shuttle. By the time I assume we get on the plane and sat down, we'll probably be over an hour late. Wanted to throw this on and give you an example of how they had these seats spaced out. I was trying to point that out before, but I'm not sure if you could see since there was so many people. But I also saw that they had a smoking room. That would have been nice years ago when we were smokers, but thankfully we're not anymore, because waiting for a plane when you're a smoker is the worst, especially being on an 11-hour flight. I do not envy anyone who's a smoker on this flight. But yeah, we're still just waiting. Like I said, we're going to be a little late, but just wanted to kind of get some different views. As you can see, the terminal here is pretty empty for the most part, except for the two flights, the people boarding the two flights. I think I was correct. I did see the shuttle going back and forth, and it looks like maybe the plane we're taking is on the other side of the airport. Alright, they got us all queued up out here waiting for the next shuttle. See how this little shuttle ride goes. As you can see, they've got some people in full PPE. That are, oh no, this guy's armrest broke off. But they got people in PPE on the plane. They actually took our temperature. That was the third time, right?
Yeah.
Third time as we boarded, but we have made it on the plane. I'm pretty sure this is completely full flight.
From the goodies too.
Oh yeah.
The seats we got.
They hooked us up with some like beef jerky type sticks, 3 bottles of water, and a extra large Snickers, which is 3 portions, which is pretty good. You can't argue with that. We were dying of thirst, consideration there's nothing open in the terminal there, so that was pretty nice of them. But I guess in consideration of the cost of the flight, it was certainly well deserved. But we'll be on our way here shortly, hopefully. Alright, I had the realization that the people in PPE are actually the stewardesses, so they got them head to toe with the PPE on, so that's good for them. It's awesome. They just dropped us off looks like a health declaration here that we got to fill out. They always bring you around some paperwork when you're entering to the United States, but they don't give you a pin, so why they hand it out to you while you're in flight, I'm not sure, but looks like it's asking if you've been to China, basically, and or any other areas listed here. Quite interesting. But yeah, I'll have to get that filled out before we land, it looks like. So this young lady right here has actually got a bottle, and she has some like sanitizer, and she's going into the restrooms and sanitizing them, which is pretty good. And then she's spraying the outside door, so that's definitely a nice level of protection, or at least a bit of sanitation is the word I was going for there. But it's kind of interesting. Half these people have their masks on wrong. Then you got Rachel and I just wearing our standards. Then you got the people next to her and their they've got the face masks, the face shields. They've got gloves. They're not messing around, and I can appreciate that. So what did you do to prepare for this 10-hour flight?
I think you asked what I did to prepare for this flight, although I'm not super sure because I can't hear. But I downloaded some stuff for Netflix. We packed some food. I got a bag full of food down there. We sanitized everything, did some stretches, and got on the plane.
I just downloaded 160 songs on my YouTube app, and that should hold me over for a while. I'm thinking I got at least 4 or 5 hours worth of music there, so that's pretty good. And then, like she was saying with the snacks, when we got on the plane, they had left like some beef jerky and some candy bars and 3 waters. But also we brought like 2 bags of celery, cut up celeries. We brought a bunch of hard-boiled eggs. We brought like 2 things of granola. We brought some meat and cheese sandwiches. We brought peanut butter and honey sandwiches. So we're pretty set, because originally they said there wasn't going to be any type of, what's the word? They weren't going to have any of the regular amenities or services as far as being able to order food or having meals or nothing. So it was quite a surprise actually when we got on the plane and they had left us some snacks and some waters. But we had prepared anyway and brought all this food. So I bet we'll even still have some food left when we get there, which is good because we have like a 6-hour car ride to get to Maine. So we're doing all right so far. I think we're like 3.5 hours into the flight. So we got about 6 hours left. So we're surviving. So I find it curious that some people wear their masks around their mouths and not their noses. I've said it before in some of my other videos, but it's like they don't understand how the respiratory system works, and I'm quite blown away by that. Looks like they're taking temperatures again. I think this will be the twice before we boarded, once as we were boarding, and then this is the first time they've taken temperatures as we've been in flight. So it looks like they're trying to see if anyone's developed a fever or anything while we've been in flight. I was actually in the restroom, so they skipped over me, but that's a pretty good protocol, I'd say. All right, just an update here. We are 7 hours into our 10-hour flight, and I think I'm doing all right actually. I just stood for I think an hour and a half. I just stood right in front of my seat here, because just in front of my seat is the bathroom, so I had a wall in front of me and I have the extra leg room, which is really nice. But I was able to just stand for like an hour and a half, and I put the music on and I just kind of jammed and rocked my feet back and forth and stretched a bit. And Rachel's just pretty deep into her movie there. Had to bust out the battery, the little power bank we have to keep the phone charged up, because 7-hour flight, watching movies and listening to music the whole time. But thankfully we were prepared. We've grubbed out a few times. We still have a lot of food. I'm so glad we brought all this food. And there's like just so many bottles of water that they have on this plane that they're handing out. So it's really good to stay hydrated when you fly. I forget why, but for some reason your body dehydrates when you fly and when you get to high altitude. Look that up if you're interested. But yeah, so we're just cruising along still, and everyone's been pretty chill. Everyone's patient, and no complaints. But I think we only got like, what did I say, 7 hours, so less than 3 hours left. Maybe 2 hours 45 minutes hopefully. I think we must have the wind at our back, because it was supposed to take like 11 hours, and then when we got on the flight they said 10, so I guess we gained an hour in there. But yeah, I'm gonna throw my music back on and jam out, and we'll get you covered here after a bit, see if there's any more updates. Oh, I did want to say They cleaned the bathroom and the outside of the bathroom like 5 or 6 times. They've taken temperatures like twice on board the plane, I believe they did. No, maybe it was only once, but they have cleaned the bathrooms like 3 or 4 times, so that's been really good. Certainly can't argue with that. I try to rush into the bathroom after they sanitize it so I can use it before everyone else destroys it, but that's nice that they've been doing that. All right, guys, we made it. 10 hours later, we're finally descending to head into JFK in New York. I'm curious if they will come on the plane and do some type of like temperature or health inspection before we disembark, or if after we disembark from the plane, if then as we're entering into passport control and customs and such, if they'll test us there. But I'll give you guys an update when we find out. We should be landing here shortly, and then we'll find out. We landed safely. We'll see what lies ahead for us as soon as we disembark here. All right, update. They threw us a curveball. As I was predicting, at first we were disembarking, but like I was wondering if they were going to come on board and check us before they let anyone off the plane. And in fact, they've had everyone sit back down. And it sounds like there's a medical team that's about to board. I'm assuming American medical team maybe works with the airline or CDC, who knows. But it sounds like they're going to come on board and check our vitals, I guess, something to that effect, our temperature at least. And then hopefully after that we'll be able to get off. Now they're just playing games with us. Now we have to get off. They don't know what they want us to do. Alright, they're going to yell at me if they see me with a camera going, but they got us social distancing here just before passport control. Alright, let's see if I can get this before they yell at me. See, back behind me is the CDC here. Pretty interesting. They got a little quarantine, I'm assuming, for people who have high temperatures or symptoms as they come off the plane here. This woman who works for the airport here is really doing her best to keep everyone distanced. It's quite an effort she's putting forth. Even the CDC women walked off and she's still trying to get everyone to social distance, so good for her. All right, after waiting in line to have to go through passport control, we finally here at the baggage collection. I've yet to see my bag. Hopefully it comes around soon, but they have yet to test us, take our temperatures here, nothing.
Right. They didn't even collect the health forms that they made us fill out asking if we've been to danger zones or anything.
But we still have to go through customs, but I'm assuming we'll be able to just enter through nothing declare like we always do. So far, no testing, but we'll update you as we go. We just got busted. K9 came by, hit on our bag.
He jumped right in the bag.
He hit on our bag, and they took our beef jerky and our freaking salami sandwiches, even though we had just taken them from the plane. They were extras. Now I feel bad because we could have left them on the plane. When we came through passport control, they asked us if we had any meat, and we said no. And we were lying, and then the damn dog found our sausages. Oh. All right, we got our bag. See, look, this little canine guy behind me taking people's sausages. All right, after the damn drug dog hit on our beef, and they confiscated all of our meats.
Where's the beef?
They sent us on our way. We're heading to get our rental car. Not one check, not one thermometer, nothing. They didn't do anything to test us. They're just dumping us all in here, and no one cared. They were more concerned that we had meat on us than whether or not we had a temperature or anything to that effect. So, pretty interesting, huh? So, getting back to what I was saying about not being checked, I'm incredibly disappointed, actually. There was no test, nothing. Very concerning, I think. It's rather unfortunate that they didn't check us whatsoever. Right. They still didn't even collect these papers.
Nothing.
That the paperwork basically said, have you recently entered into the United States from any of these Schengen countries? Waste of paper, waste of time. They made us fill those out for nothing.
Can we hear some of this already?
Yeah. See if I can get some of this skyline here. Ooh, that sun's beaming in my eyes now. I saw the Freedom Tower. Let's see, there it is right there actually. It's probably just a silhouette on here, but pretty cool view from here. We're headed to the rental car now. Feels good to be home for certain reasons. It'll be nice to get back to our car and get back to work. after being in Europe for 6 months.
Now arriving at Terminal 8.
We were supposed to be
Please
gone
take your belongings.
for 2 more months. We were supposed to be gone, so it kind of sucks that we're back early, but this will just give us an opportunity to work and make a little bit more money so we can
This train
go and do it all again. All right, we made it back. You-
It's so good to be back.
Huh.
It's just so nice to have a conversation
Yeah, it's nice to have
somebody
I was
saying hello and thank you. And,
exchanging simple pleasantries.
Right.
I was just like talking the woman's ear off. And this is kind of interesting. We've never had this. She said pick any car in zone 2 and the keys are in it. So we chose, we're going to choose the little Toyota here because it's going to get us the best gas mileage. So now we have to drive to Maine. So I'm going to cut this off here and we're going to start driving before it gets too dark, and hopefully we can make it there before too late. It's like 7 now, so I think it's like 5 or 6 hours. Probably take us longer than that because we haven't been here for a while, so we gotta. I haven't driven in. Excuse me. I haven't driven in 6 months, so gotta take it slow. But thanks for watching, you guys. Thanks for coming along on our journey. It was a very interesting and patience testing trip, but we're here now, and no complaints. So yeah, stay safe and stay sane out there.